I have a question for us to consider, okay? When we say that a trans man is benefiting from male privilege, would that privilege that he's being given go away if it was revealed he was trans? Because if the answer is yes, I feel like that situation might then be less of male privilege and more of passing privilege, right? Like, if the better treatment only exists when you're actively hiding parts of your identity, how much of a position of privilege can it really be? Because trans men absolutely can wield the patriarchy as a weapon, especially in very trans spaces. Because, like, yeah, anyone can perpetuate sexism or trans misogyny. I just reject the implication that trans men aren't experiencing the world from a marginalized gender. Especially when the studies that actually bother to recognize trans men and not just lump them in with women find that they suffer from things like SA or like medical neglect, domestic abuse at higher rates than cisgender women do. The patriarchy doesn't just universally reward masculinity, right? Like, when you're labeled as a woman, it's seen as a sign of gender deviance. I think that trans men should more so be called out when they're misogynists and not called out for having male privilege. Because in most of the scenarios that trans men might benefit from male privilege, it's literally by accident.
Also, learning about the Holocaust or racism or homophobia and the kind of the way that we do in the United States sort of sets people up to only be able to recognize things when they occur in one singular way. Trigger warning for like conversation about just generally like racist, violent, bigoted, homophobic sort of conversation. I know I don't like to hear a lot of the time without a warning, so here's this for you. But people think that racism can only exist as like calling black people the hard ER and lynching people from trees. Like, racism exists in so many forms, and people don't even know when they're being racist so often because they think that racism can only look one certain way because they're only taught about it looking like one certain thing. People think that homophobia is just like calling someone, I'm not even really even calling someone the F slur, because the F slur kind of is running amok right now. Oh, I hate you people. But like, they genuinely think it's only just like saying, I hate gay people. Like, and then even then they don't think that's homophobic, because sometimes they're like, well, I just don't like them because they put it in everyone's face, like, you just don't like them because you don't like seeing them exist. It reminds me a lot of how in Europe people think that racism doesn't exist because they think that their racism is like an observational fact about the world. They're like, oh, we don't hate the Romani people. They're just like really lazy and like they don't know how to work and they like stink and they have bad food. And you're like, okay, well, that actually is racism. And they're like, no, it's not. That's just true. And you're like, whoa, like, see, that is exactly what we're talking about. Like, people think a genocide can only occur when you round people up, put them in a separate camp, and then kill them all in a very like sophisticated, very civilized way. They think it's a unique thing that can only really happen like in like a very specific set of circumstances. They think it's like something that can only really occur against like, you know, especially white people. Like, it's just a whole list of things that people are not able to like recognize these kind of like issues because they learned about it in one specific way. And then that's just literally it. Again, a lot of the reason why the American slave trade and like, you know, the transatlantic slave trade and American race-based slavery is not considered genocide in a lot of people's minds is because like they're not learning about it as extensively as they're learning about other genocides. Like, they don't know that like, you know, the hair of black people was used to like, you know, stuff chairs, and that black people's teeth were pulled out to make dentures, and that George Washington and his fucking self wore a set of dentures that were taken from enslaved people. We don't know that there are like probably millions of unmarked graves of black people and like people of the African diaspora that were just walking on at any point in time. Like, they literally have to rip trees out because of how oh my god, I can't even talk about it. It's just the hottest fucking mess. And then we still have, you know, Confederate supporters, people talking about the heritage of the South. And you're like, okay, well, like, what did they want to do that the Union didn't want to do? Like, you know, like, it's just like shit like that where it's just like, teaching about things in a certain way will always have political implications, especially because, like, you know, the way a state educates its citizens is going to inform how they can treat their citizens, and it's going to inform how their citizens behave and act and feel about, like, you know, what the government does. On a different note, though, talking about how something was uniquely bad because it happened in a civilized society is very fucked up. Civilized itself is always going to be a word that has racial implications. And it also has colonial implications. So let's just think about that before we say that word again.
Beat me up, beat me down, mess me up beyond no recognition. For what it's worth, I'll do it again. With no consequence, I will do it again.
I'm gonna say something and you're gonna hate me. We the people are as complicit in the genocide in Gaza as our government. Not only complicit, but sideline watchers and funders, okay? When they told us the death toll in Gaza was 186,000 and not 40,000, we should have been on the street demanding for a real ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire. But no, all we said was, are we surprised? It should be surprising that we're not surprised, okay? It should be infuriating that we're not surprised. There should have been a transitional point when we are aware of something and when we do something about it. And we, the masses, have not transitioned to that point. Yes, individuals and some people have transitioned to doing something about it, but it's not enough because they need everyone on board, and everyone is not on board. We are complicit and we are funding this genocide, okay? We have to be out on the streets. The masses have to be out on the streets. I don't want to see 10,000. I don't want to see 100,000. I don't want to see 500,000. I want to see millions. I want to see millions out in the street. Learn from Kenya. Learn from everywhere. Put your differences aside and get the fuck out. Okay, get outside and pressure. Okay, no business as usual. This system does not uphold if you don't let it. The only reason this system that you come on here and rant about every day is still continuing is because me and you are letting it every day. Okay, if we wanted the system to stop, it would have stopped years ago. But no, it's not stopping because we are comfortable. A lot of people are comfortable, okay? We are oppressed, but oh, we're not being bombarded. I'm comfortable here. No, okay? A lot of people are waiting for something to happen to them to do something. Don't you think it's too late if something happens to you? If something happens here, and if something happens to you, it's too late. You can't do anything about it. You're gonna need someone else screaming for you, okay? We have the privilege and the ability to disrupt our daily lives in order to save another child, okay? We are letting this system uphold. We are funding this system. We cannot do a general strike. But Taylor Swift has more people following her like a slave than for people for the general strike, for real change, for the people that are homeless here, for the people that are starving here, for the people that are dying abroad by our money. Yes, I can go on a general strike. Yes, 10,000 people can go on a general strike, but nothing will be changed unless the masses go on a strike. This system does not uphold if you don't let it. And the only reason this system is continuing and growing is because me and you are letting it. It is time to transition from when we are aware of an issue to when we fix it and do something about it. I am done and tired of coming here and screaming. Please get out, okay? Go get out of your comfort state. No change has come from a comfort, okay? No change has come from a place of safety. It has to be disrupted. Everyone's daily life, my daily life, have to be disrupted. But the masses have to do it because alone it's impossible. Minority is impossible, but majority we can make a difference. Please, the people in Israel, they are demanding a ceasefire. They are demanding a ceasefire. What are we doing? And it's not enough that a few people are going out and screaming. Yes, it has made a difference, but it's not enough. The masses have to go out. This system does not uphold if you do not let it. Please go out. Start from your city. Go to your city council. Say something. Make a comment. I go to a city council, it's empty. Those people are making a decision based on what? Ghosts? No, go and say something. Make them uncomfortable like they make us uncomfortable. They take our money and send it to a fucking messed up country to go unalive innocent kids. No one should be comfortable with that. Our daily lives, no business as usual. That is the whole point of demanding change and disrupting the system. Okay? This system does not uphold if you don't let it.
Why the fuck are people raw dogging this apocalypse era? Like, look, bro, look, come on, like, bro, come on, it's not even capturing how orange it is out here right now, dog. Like, I get it, all right, you don't give a shit about COVID or whatever, you don't find that, whatever, dog. This shit, you're not even, y'all won't even mask up for yourself. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I swear to God, man, people's worst enemies might just be themselves. Why the fuck are people raw dogging this apocalypse era? Like, look.
Because supremacy culture is genocidal and suicidal. It's a death cult that depends on the denial of most of the people who are upholding it. It would be impossible for it to continue if it was only upheld by the narrow demographic that actually profits from it. But it's a grift. It convinces the people who are agents of supremacy culture that those who are experiencing negative impacts, it's because of their identity and beliefs, not because of the world and the way it is shaped. Oh, disabled people will be harmed. People who are weak will be harmed. And you, as long as you act strong, as long as you act like you're invulnerable, as long as you keep repeating lies like smoke isn't even bad for you even, and particulates, they're a crazy conspiracy made up by the left. As long as you keep repeating and believing in that within supremacy culture, it's meant to protect you.
To all the white LGBT plus people, you realize like you don't have to cosplay with Black culture in order to be valid in your LGBT plus identity, right? And to all of y'all claiming to be queer, you do understand that like queer is like a political framework, right? Like you can't be queer and actively oppressing other marginalized groups, right? Like that's not how it works. Because recently Billie Eilish has been cosplaying as like a Black man, and it's just like, why is this always a part of their journey? Like when you look at the Hey Mamas TikTokers, they now go to Futch Night. Like if they're not cosplaying us, they're excluding us because their racism is mispackaged as different things. Because none of them take the time to like learn queer history, so they literally misrepresent it as fuck. Like you realize you wouldn't have any rights if it wasn't for like Black queerness, right? Latin queerness, right? POC queerness, right? Like at least show some fucking respect. And white men, don't think you're excluded. I specified white LGBT people because white men also do this by exploiting Black women and cosplaying as us. And to that one white man who tried to like have a, whoa, like, has anyone ever noticed like white LGBT plus people come out as transracial? I blocked him because like, I think he just steals minority takes and plays it as if he's intelligent and he's not. But also he clearly doesn't have the vernacular to like back up his point because it's not his point.
I'm talking about a Palestinian family. So before you scroll away, please like, share, and tell me your favorite perfume or your favorite shower gel in the comments. I am still raising money for the Kadea family in Gaza. They are currently living in their old home that they fled to Rafah from after it got bombed and is now rubble. They had to flee Rafah because of the tent massacres and are back in their old home, but in just one room. All 7 of them. This includes a baby boy. To reach their GoFundMe goal, they need about 3,000 more pounds as they only have 2,000. They are not raising the amount to exit from Gaza because they are planning to stay at this moment. It is essential that we are not just funding money for families who want to escape from Gaza, but those who want to stay as well and or have no other choice but to stay. We are trying to give them funds so that they can live day after day and keep all 7 of the family alive and protected. This is the Kadea's family GoFundMe. The link is in my bio. It's also on my Instagram. All of it's in my link tree. I know it's not linked. I don't have enough followers to be able to hyperlink anything. So if you could please like, share, comment, or make your own video, please. That is the best way to spread the awareness and help them reach their goal. Thank you.
It made me appreciate white people because only they think of stupid shit like this.
Talking, laughing, loving, breathing, fighting, fucking.
If you've been in the leftist sphere of influence for a while, you're going to completely understand what I'm saying. If you have not, you are not going to get it at all. But I want you to try, because I'm going to try for you. I'm going to walk you through it. I saw a video the other day of somebody saying, basically, even if Biden were to win, which after the events, you know, that's not happening.
genuinely, there is no way. Like, if you know anything about history, I'm going to school to be a history teacher. We're not getting a Democratic presidency. Like, God would have to come down and do that. And even then, Project 2025 or Agenda 47 is still gonna happen. Biden doesn't actually give a fuck. People are saying, like, oh, there's people standing in his way, blah, blah, blah. He can just move them. You're gonna say I don't know how the government works, but I'm gonna say you don't know how history works. You can understand law front and back. You can understand political science front and back. But if you do not grasp history, you genuinely are at a loss. You don't actually have any information. I'm not gonna sit here and explain to you why our government can get away with everything. I am just going to let you know that our government can get away with anything. Biden winning, although now it's not going to happen, it would have just been a snooze button. And for the next 4 years, we would be in the exact same situation, and it's just gonna get worse. The bird flu is piping up, like, there's multiple G-sides happening all over the world. I think it's 12 now, which is just... We've come to a point of no return. And this is the people who haven't been listening's fault. Everybody who is waking up and being backed into a corner because of their government and because now their rights are being lost, those are white people that are getting backed into corners. People of color, especially queer people of color, have been backed into a corner for literally like hundreds of years. It is such an incredibly and appallingly Eurocentric view to only start caring about this stuff because your rights are being infringed on. However, as somebody who is studying history and cares a lot about history and how things work psychologically pertaining to history, when people are backed into a corner, where are they gonna... They can't back up anymore. You have to fight. It's like if you back a dog into a corner, they're gonna bite you. They'll back into a corner for as long as they can until their last option is to bite. That's where we're at. And quite a few individuals in leftist spaces have seen that, but as a collective, like, I just don't think we're getting it. Basically, the point of this video is if you're a really frustrated leftist, so am I. It's okay. Everybody's gonna wake up soon. You and I are ready. We've been ready for years. Everyone else is gonna be running around frantically like chickens with their heads cut off. But it's okay. I don't know. We'll get it down at some point. And now I can hear you already, the wah wah baby leftists. What do we even do? I can't even do anything. I'm just one person. What do you want me to do? Go vote, bitch? Do I look like I'm about to tell you to go vote? Look at me, in my face. Do I look like I'm about to tell you to go vote? No. I think that shit is useless, quite honestly. What I am gonna tell you to do is prepare. And you're gonna say I'm fear-mongering. I'm gonna say you're dumb. Trust me, I've had discourse like this before hundreds of times. I know exactly every single piece of rhetoric that you're gonna try to use against me. It doesn't work. This isn't a matter of ego. This isn't a matter of me being right or you being right. This is a matter of, like, genuinely people need to wake the fuck up and start doing something. Or else we are cooked. You keep saying, like, we're so cooked, we're so cooked. Yeah, because none of you give a fuck. Because you keep saying, we're so cooked. She's judging you. The fucking Mona Lisa is judging you, dude. Get up. What I'm gonna tell you to do, you're not gonna like. Because all of you are antisocial, people-hating motherfuckers with no love in your goddamn heart. You're gonna cultivate community. And community does not mean people that you like. Ugh, I can see your faces now. Community does not mean people that you like. Community means people whose morals, values, and ideas for the world line up with yours. That is community. You don't have to like all these people. You should like most of them. You don't have to like all these people. You do have to learn to work with them. You have to stop being lazy. You have to become a fucking human being. Stop being a robot. Please. And you have to cultivate community. You do not have a choice. How do I do that? How do I do that? There are so many ways. I organize my own grassroots organization. I am a queer disabled person living in a trailer that has no AC if it gets hotter than 85 degrees, and I live in the Mid-South, red state. I live 45 minutes away from the city that I organize for, and I still get it done. I'm an untreated disabled person. I have seizures. I have chronic disabilities, and I am untreated for all of them. If you are white especially, you do not have an excuse. You actually have a moral responsibility to get off your ass and start fighting. I'm not really talking to people of color. Y'all know what to do. I'm not gonna give y'all direction. Y'all should be giving me direction. If anything, I'm not gonna give direction. I'm going to answer to calls and answer to direction from people of color. That is what I do. That is why I am where I'm at when it comes to like my mindset and my values and stuff like that. However, I know that white people don't listen to y'all a lot of the time. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen it online. I've seen it in person. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in every sense of the word, physically, socially, emotionally, financially, every single sense. I've seen it. And so I try to call on other white people because maybe they'll listen to me. They never do. But I saw another white guy do it. Maybe because he's a man, a lot of people listen to him. So I'm going to keep using my voice for people who won't listen to other people's voices. And this is not me being kind. This is not me being generous. This is me being a little bit desperate, quite honestly. This is me. I don't want to fight alongside people that don't give a fuck about me, but I don't have time to care about what I want. This isn't a pity thing. This is like a logistics thing. Like, let's lock in. Like, let's be real. We have to cultivate community. We have to do what's right. We have to learn how to make our own food. We have to learn how to fix things again. We have to learn how to woodwork again. Just get back into your roots of being a human being. And hopefully the rest will figure itself out. But you do have to do the work. Thank you.